Hey, everybody, welcome back to the show. Yes, I've been gone for 15 days, 2 weeks, and 1 day. Well, I guess only 2 weeks because I'm going to put out the show today. But yes, it's a day late. Surprise, surprise. Yeah, let's get into it. Follow me on Instagram at The Jesus Show NTO. You can find me on Facebook, The Jesus Show, not that one. You can find me on TikTok at The Jesus Show, not that one. You can find me on YouTube, The Jesus Show, not that one. And you can email me your questions, comments, and concerns. The Jesus Show NTO at gmail.com. All right. I've been having an issue with. So I've been recently recording on my phone, is what I'm using now, instead of the camera that I've told you Allie bought me when I first started the podcast. And I feel like the resolution is a lot better on the phone. The only issue is for the first maybe 10 minutes of the show, my voice or the audio and the video sync up perfectly. And then after about 10 minutes, it doesn't do so good. And my brother has noticed the past 2 episodes, maybe 3 episodes, because I've been doing it. The past 3 episodes, I've been doing it on my phone instead of using the camera. Again, the reason why I'm not using the camera is because this is, I would say this is the 8th or 9th time, maybe even 10th, that I've recorded something on the camera. And when I go to extract that video from the memory card, it doesn't work. So then I'm left with just the audio, which is fine if I only had an audio podcast and not a video component to it. That would be fine, but I have audio and video, so I need it to work the way it's supposed to work, and it's not. So that's why I've transitioned to the iPhone. And another problem I've been trying to figure out is that every time my phone is near my MacBook, it picks up my iPhone microphone. And but I've been Googling, like, what the fuck is going on? And I haven't found the right words. And for some reason, and when I'm telling you I haven't found the right words, I've been doing this for the past 14 days. I'm like, how? I Google it and I'm trying to talk to some people. I'm like, this is what I'm running into and I don't know how to fucking fix it. And it's like, I want to make sure that I'm putting out a good show. I just don't want to throw anything at you guys. And I know I shouldn't be that hard on myself because some people have told me, like, hey, but you're putting out free entertainment. You're putting out a free show, which is fine. But just because it's free doesn't mean that I don't want it to lack in different departments. Like, I don't want it to lack quality. I don't want it to lack in sound. I don't want it to lack in topics. You know, like, just because it's free doesn't mean that I can just put whatever shit out there and just here you go, consume it. I don't want that either. I get really down on myself to the point where, I mean, this might sound silly, but there has been some nights where I am not only trying to Google how to fix this problem, but also, like, I'm losing sleep over it. I don't know. I guess it's I wouldn't say I'm a perfectionist, but I definitely want to put out a good show. Something that you guys, when you see the notification, like, oh, there's a new show. Oh, I want to watch it because I know there's some production value in it. Anyways, I think I fixed the problem. Again, one of the problem is when I had my iPhone around my laptop, a screen would pop up on my iPhone and said, do you want to use your iPhone as the microphone? And I kept having to hit disconnect, disconnect, disconnect. And it would happen like 4 or 5 times. Well, when I researched it, it said that I had to do stuff on my laptop and then my phone to disable that. So I did that. Hopefully, like I said, this fixes the problem where the audio you're hearing syncs up with my mouth moving so it doesn't look weird. And if I didn't fix the problem, well, I'm going to keep researching and trying to fix this fucking problem because it's annoying the shit out of me. And who knows, maybe I would just go back to filming on the camera and cross my fingers that the file doesn't get corrupted or whatever the fuck it is. Anyways, some of the topics I'm going to talk about, because it's been a while, are definitely going to seem old. But this, like I said before, I have her run a show, and these are things that I want to talk about. So here we go. A couple weeks ago, Allie and I were at Sonic. And across from the Sonic, there's a place called Culver's. I don't know if you guys have heard of it. I don't know if you guys have been to it. If you're here in the Midwest, at least here, particularly in the town that we live in, then you've seen Culver's many times. What stood out to me was there was a school bus, and it parked, and it let out a bunch of high school kids. And these high school kids started going inside. And I was very confused because I thought to myself, did a school bus just drop kids off at the Culver's? And I'm telling Allie this. And she goes, yeah, like, okay. The way Allie looked at me was like, yeah, dumbass. Like, hello, that happens. And I went, hold on. So you're telling me, because she goes, yeah, they used to do that when I was in high school, right? They'd drop you off. Like you guys would go to a fast food place?
Yeah, before a field trip.
Before. What about after? Yeah, before or after. And I told her that was never a thing with us. When I went to school, when we went on a field trip, I want to say most of the time we would pack our lunches. And I would try to ask my mom to make it like, oh, can I get this? Can I get that? I wanted a dope ass lunch to show others like, yeah, I got it like that. Like, yeah, I got, ding dongs. I got M&Ms, peanut M&Ms, obviously the only ones that count. Things of that nature, like good food that I wanted to eat. Not some just like bullshit sandwich and a banana. Like, that's dumb. That, or I think as I got older, if I remember correctly, you could buy whatever lunch they were providing at the venue, but you had to like prepay for it and pre-order. And then the third option was, depending on where you were going, some of these places had a cafe, some sort of restaurant, and you can buy your lunch there on site. But never in the history of ever were you just, I don't know, rolling down the street and they go, oh, look, there's a In-N-Out. Let's go stop there. Oh, look, there's a Carl's Jr. Let's go stop there. Let's let these high school kids just go in there and eat. Never was there a McDonald's and they're like, oh, you know what sounds like a good idea? Why don't we let the kids go have McDonald's because that's delicious? So like I said, when I saw this with my own eyes, I was like, what the fuck is going on? And then for Allie to look at me like, dumbass, this is what I did. I was utterly shocked. Utterly shocked. I was like, wait, what? I was paying attention more at what was going on at the Culvers than paying attention to the drive-through that I was at, that I ordered the food that I wanted. I was focused over there. Now they kept telling me, "Hey, pay attention." I was like, "Oh yeah, yeah, yeah." So yeah, I thought that was crazy. Have you guys seen videos of kids listening to their parents' voice for the first time? Or like when they put glasses on a baby or a toddler and then they see their parents for this first time and they start smiling. Like their parent, the mom or dad is talking to them and they just kind of like they put the glasses on and they focus and they're, whoa, they start smiling. Or like I said, they put some sort of like hearing aid in the baby's ear and then, the mom or dad or both say, hi. Baby like looks at them and just starts like again, I think I've shared with you guys when I'm at the Denver airport. When I've been at the Denver airport, I see some of these videos and I'm sitting there having lunch and I've started to cry and I'm like, and try to hide it because I think it kind of looks odd if just a grown man is just crying out of nowhere. Maybe people think there's something wrong, especially as a flight attendant. I don't think people would want to just randomly see a flight attendant crying. I think they'd be like, "Whoa, can you figure that out before you work the flight?" But once again, I was at the Denver airport and I I watched some of these videos on Instagram and YouTube and I was just, oh my god, bawling to see the expression, the joy on the baby's face when they hear or see their parents for the first time. It gets me every single time. If you guys want a really good cry, look that up. Oh yeah, do your legs ever give out? This is what I mean. I go to the gym and I work out my legs really hard. And it doesn't necessarily happen on leg day at the gym. Sometimes it happens 2, 3 days after said hard workout. So just the other day, I was walking down the steps at the Y, and I would say my thighs, mostly my quads, were killing me. Like I was stepping down, I'm coming down the steps, and I couldn't fully bend my legs because even just a little bend, I could feel like a sore pain. And as I was coming down, I'm kind of just letting myself fall. And I'm laughing. I'm laughing because I'm sure I look ridiculous. But it hurt so bad to just go down the steps. Halfway through, I had to kind of take a little breather. I think one of the ladies at the front desk kind of looked over and kind of looked at me. And I thought to myself, fuck, I should have taken the elevator. This is insane. That or sometimes I'll be just walking, da, 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 and then like when somebody hits the back of your leg and your leg kind of gives out and you go, whoa. That happens to me quite often. And I don't know if it's because it's normal. I don't think it's normal. Or if I have a bigger problem. Like maybe a tendon or something isn't working right. I mean, I'm still running, jumping, squatting, all the good things. that I do. So it hasn't affected me like that, but it's just kind of funny because either after the gym, just anytime, after the gym, when I'm here at home, when I'm at work, I'll just be walking, and then all of a sudden I'm like, whoa. And most of the time it happens, especially when I'm at the airport. It just makes me laugh because I think, what if people were just looking at me? Not, and also, I don't think that everybody's looking at me at all times. I think people rarely pay attention to what I'm doing, um, or have zero interest in me. But I just think if, if in that moment somebody happens to look over and they just see me go, whoop, I'd be like, what the fuck's wrong with that guy? Because I think if I were to see somebody do that, I think I'd kind of chuckle. I mean, what the fuck's wrong with them? But I also think to myself, does that has to happen to other people? I, I know I can't be the only person on this planet that just walks around and then like, oh my, whoa, my legs. Um, oh yeah, this one. I worked with a lady. What, about 2 weeks ago? I think actually this one might have been 3 weeks ago. But I didn't say it in the last 2 episodes. It's kind of heavy. So I went to work and I want to say the check-in was maybe 5 a.m., 5, 6 a.m. It was early as shit. And I think I've told you before, I'm not a morning person. I hate fucking early mornings. But some of these, I'd say a lot of these trips, if you want some good trips, they check in early. So some of them check in really early, like 4:45 a.m., which is insane because that means I would have to leave here at about maybe 2:30, 2:40. I don't know. I'd have to wake up early to get ready and then early to leave. That's too early. Anything before, like anything that I have to, hold on, I gotta kill a spider. Where'd it go? Well, I saw a spider, baby spider, and now it's not there anymore. Okay, well, it lives here in the house now. I would have to say anything that checks in before 10 a.m. When I get to work, I don't want to talk to. I don't want to sit there and have a conversation with people, especially strangers. And these people that I work with are strangers for the most part because I've never met them. Don't know who they are. I just show up and I'm like, hey, what's up? So, I get there and I say, good morning, my name's Jesse. And this lady, she tells me her name. And immediately, or no, she didn't say her name. I said, hi, my name is Jesse. And she goes, how long have you been with the company? And I went, huh? And she goes, how long have you been with the company? And I went, normally, people exchange pleasantries. I say my name, you say your name. Then we let that sit for a while. And then as passengers come on, we, hey, did you get this? Hey, did you get that? Hey, I need this. Hey, I need that. Oh, can you? And then after we close the door and we do the safety demo or video, then it's normally like, oh, so how long have you been here? So I tell her this and she looks at me like she's confused. And she tells me, "Are you not going to tell me?" And I chuckled. And I said, "I'll tell you later. It's too early right now." I'm sure she thought I was a fucking asshole, which is fine. I really don't care. But I thought to myself, like, why am I telling you how to be a person? That part baffles me. Even when I have to tell people when they recently I was working a flight. Somebody goes, "Oh, there's no space for my bag." Okay, well, we're gonna have to check it. They said, "No, you don't understand. I can't check my bag." And I said, "Oh, okay, wait, are you on this flight?" And they said, "Yeah." I go, "We don't have any more space, so we're gonna have to check your bag." And the lady goes, "I have a tight connection." And I went, "Okay, well, they're gonna check it to your final destination so you don't have to worry about your bag." She goes, "I need my bag." Then I replied, "Well, if we don't have any space in the cabin, then we can't have you have that at your seat. It's a safety issue." She's like, "Well, I'm not checking my bag." And I go, "You don't." I said, "Okay." I said, "Fair." I said, "Well, you have two options." I said, "Option one, you check your bag and you get to your destination and then you get it there. Or two, you don't get on this flight." And she tells me, "Are you kicking me off the flight?" And I said, "No, no, 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 no." I said, "I want to make it very clear. I am not kicking you off the flight. I'm not even telling you that you have to take this flight." I said, "You have the option of checking your bag and going on your original flight and getting to your destination when you originally planned, or you can decide not to get on this flight because you need your bag. And maybe on the next flight, you won't have to check it." So she looked confused. And I said, "Well, you can take your time. But if we don't leave on time, that's because, you're not in your seat and your bag is not safely stowed." So she tells me, "We'll look for space for my bag." And I said, "Well, normally when we close the overhead bins, that means there's no space." And in my head, I was like, "Moron, check it. There's no space." So because I'm petty, I went, "You know what? I'm going to look for space. And if there's no space, then you're going to have to check it." So I'm in the back. So I start opening each bin. No space, no space, no space, no space, no space, no space, no space. I'm halfway up the plane, and the other flight attendant goes, "What are you doing? There's no space anymore." And I go, "I know. I told her, but she said we have to find a space because she can't be without her bag." I go, "So I'm trying to show her that there's no space." So she sees a bag towards the front, and she asks the person, "Can you put this bag at your seat?" And I say, "No." She goes, "Why not? You just don't want my bag up there." And I said, "No, no." I said, "Do you see how there's a backpack under there? You see how it fits completely under the seat?" She goes, "Yeah." Well, this bag needs to fit completely underneath the seat. I go, "This bag is not going to be able to fit completely underneath the seat. I'll show you." So I grab the guy's bag, I give it to him. He puts it there. I go, "Do you see how it's sticking out by a lot?" She goes, "Yeah, but," and I go, "No, not but. I told you that there's no space." I go, "And I'm not going to have a safety risk here just because you don't know how to check your bag." So I put the bag up, keep going. No space. Moral of the story is she ended up checking the bag. And I really don't know why I told you that story. I feel like I just went on a tangent, which happens a lot, but here we go. Oh, yeah, getting back to the lady. So we get up in the air, we start talking, and I mean, a minute into the service, she goes, "Yeah, my daughter's suicidal." And I went, "Huh?" Excuse me. And she goes, "Yeah, my daughter's suicidal. I don't know why she's suicidal. I gave her a great life. I don't know what's wrong with her." And I went, "I really don't know what to tell you." I go, "I don't even know why you would share that with me." Then she proceeds to tell me how her four brothers are amazing. They're great people. They love their life. They love their mom and dad. And that they would never do anything like their daughter's doing. And again, I said, I don't know what to tell you at this point. I don't know what to say. I don't even know what you would want me to say. And I just said, "Man, it sounds like your daughter is having a rough go at it." And she, proceeds to tell me again, "Well, I just don't know why, because I give her a great life." And then she starts talking about how TikTok is the devil. And I went, "Okay. I mean, I don't. It could be. It could not be. I really don't know. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with TikTok." And then she starts complaining how she has to take her daughter to this medical facility because of what she's going through and how annoyed she is about it. So I'm trying to tell, like, well, if you have to be there, 3 times a week, I guess that's a 2 hour drive there, 2 hour drive back, and they stay there for like 4 hours. I don't know, try to get a job in town so you're doing something, you're making some money. Because she was complaining about, like, well, I have to go over there, so like I can't make money here. And I was like, I don't know what to tell you, man. Like, I was like, why don't you try this? And she's like, well, that's not gonna work. And I go, well, what about this? She's like, well, that's not gonna work. And I said, what about this? And she goes, that's not gonna work. And I told her, hey, it just sounds like you don't want any kind of solution for this. You just want to complain. She kind of looks at me. She was definitely taken back by that. And I didn't say it. I think I said it in a calm manner. I wasn't like, you dumb bit. I was just like, I'm trying to give you, and you just don't seem like. And then again, she was like, well, I just don't understand. I said, you know what? Maybe it's not for you to understand. I said, I don't know. I said, I don't know what I would do if I was in your situation. With something like that, I go, the only thing I feel like I would do is I'd do anything for my son or daughter. If I have to take them somewhere to get them help that they need, that's what I'm going to do. I said, because the alternative is let them hurt themselves. I go, I don't think you want that. It was baffling to me that this mother, and just because she's a mom doesn't absolve her from anything, from thinking anything bad. I think that's what I'm trying to say. Just because she's a mom doesn't mean that she's perfect. No, we all make mistakes. Um, should I make mistakes every day with our son? I try to learn, but I think parents would do, maybe not all. Well, no, I shouldn't say not all. I don't know if not all. I know people won't do anything, but I know I would do anything for my son or daughter. You know, I may not understand it, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to try to help them. It's I don't get that. That really for the first like no, for the 3 days it bothered me. We didn't talk about it again, but it bothered me because then she kept talking about her one of her sons is trying to become a pilot. And she was like, "Oh, my son is like real motivated, and he hasn't been flying for 2 months, and he needs to get up there, and I'm trying to help him out and do everything." And I just thought to myself, like, that same energy is what your daughter needs, and it's sad that you're not giving it to her, or at least that's what she's portraying to me. That's what she's telling me. Um, she could be doing the opposite. I hope she's doing the opposite. Yeah, that just made me sad. I was like, what the fuck, man? Speaking of children, the baby bit my nipple. Yeah, you heard that. The baby bit my nipple. Allie was out of town. This was early in the morning when he first woke up. Right? Was it when he first woke up? Yeah, yeah. He was, I think, let's say Allie left at like 5 a.m. I think he started crying about 5:30. He normally wakes up around 6:30ish, between 6:30 and 7:30, but mostly between like 6 and 7. More like 6:45. So if I remember correctly, he woke up about 30 minutes later when Allie left, and I was like, "Oh, this is too early." So I grab him and I put him on my chest, and I'm sleeping with him in our bed. In the middle of the bed, I put pillows on the side so I make sure I don't roll off with him or he doesn't roll off. And I put my legs, I spread them out. So it's like hard for me. I don't know, I do all these things in my head that help me not roll over with the baby. And I don't lay like flat. I lay kind of at an incline. So he's more comfortable. And so I'm sitting there, I'm asleep. He wakes up, we wake up, and I'm like, "Hey, buddy." And he's like, "Blah, blah, 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 blah." And I put him on my side. So now he's on my side. This side, and he's hitting my chest, and he's making noise. I'm making noise. Everything's, ha 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 ha. And all of a sudden, he like, let's say this is my nipple. Puts his hands by it, and he looks at me. He looks, and looking back on it, it's like he's lining me up. But I just think he's looking back, looking back, looking back. And all of a sudden, he just goes, "Errr," and he just, I don't know how he found it, but he found exactly where my nipple was. And he went, it was in my nipple, and he went, and he bit down so fucking hard. I went, holy shit. I yelled, "Ah!" It hurt. And the dogs jumped up on the bed and they're like, "What's going on?" I was like, "You motherfucker, what'd you do?" What was that for? I initially scared him because I yelled. And then I felt bad. And he just kind of like looked at me. And then he went, I was like, "Oh, you little jerk." And then just yesterday, when we came back, we went to Target to get some stuff. And he bit my shoulder. I'm like, "Buddy, what are you doing? Why you bite me?" I will, and this is my fault, obviously. I'll put my finger in his mouth. And the moment he doesn't bite down hard initially, just closes his mouth, and I take it out. Ay! And he laughs. And then, ay! Does it again, does it again. But when I put my finger in like this, he'll bite down hard. Where were we? Oh, we went to Cold Stone on whatever day it was, I don't remember. And we were in line, and I put my finger in his mouth. He bit down hard. Hard to the point where he left the mark, and I showed Mom, Pop, and I was like, oh shit, he left the mark. And I goes, why are you doing that? I go, I don't know, because it's fun. I like to do anything to him that makes him laugh. And if it means me getting bit by my son, then. But I also have to know, or I should say, I don't want him to think that biting people is funny, because I don't want him biting other kids or other people. So I gotta definitely make sure he doesn't do that. Do you guys FaceTime and drive? I've been on the phone with people, but FaceTiming I think is a little odd, because when you're FaceTiming, you wanna focus on the person you're talking to, because it's like having a face-to-face conversation. But if one person is driving and their focus is here, and then you're the other person on the other line, just looking at the person going like this, I don't know. I find that odd. I don't know why people do that. Also, I don't understand when I see people walk around with headphones on, like with everything they do. Especially when I see some people at work in different departments that I see them with either AirPods or earphones in, and they're either talking to somebody. Mostly they're just talking to somebody. I don't know. I find that odd. I'm like, why every time I see you, are you on the phone with somebody? Like, does your life suck that much that you need to include another person in your suckness? I don't know. I don't get it. Maybe when I was younger, I was on the phone forever with like a girlfriend or a friend, but I mean, with my brother, I'll call Greg when I'm walking the dogs. But like, if I had a regular job where I can call him, I don't think I'd call him, because I just think like I'm at work, I'm trying to do shit, and or I'm trying to look busy, and also my brother's probably doing his own shit. So like, why would I think he has nothing better to do? Also, I don't understand some of these check-ins that I have. 4, 5, 6 a.m. People are on the phone with people. Full blown conversation. Like, who the fuck are you calling at 4 a.m.? Who are you calling at 5 a.m. that the person's wide awake enough that they're like, okay, did you see what Maria was doing the other day? Like, this is just unacceptable. If a friend, even if Allie were to call me at 5 a.m., it's like, hey, what are you doing? Just want to talk. I'd be like, absolutely not. Click. I'm trying to sleep. What the fuck are you doing? I don't know. I find that very odd. Oh, this is something I was thinking about. Sex isn't a trait that's passed down from mother to daughter, or father to son, or mother to son, or father to daughter. Do you see where I'm going with this? Okay, here's an example. You don't have sex with somebody, right? Like, let's say you're at a bar, right? Yeah, let's say you're at a bar, you meet a girl, You're like, oh, she's pretty hot. You guys talk, and you guys like, she's like, hey, what's going on? And you're like, hey, baby, what's up? You want some of this chon chon? And she's like, I'm hungry for chon chon. Come here. I want you to hear this. Did you hear me talking about this and you came out? Allie was in the room and then she heard me start talking about this. Okay, so you're at the bar. You know, I'll do it from a woman's perspective. Let's say you're at a bar. You're out. You're there with Alex and Amber, right? And you guys, oh, everything is so good. I love, and Kim Kardashian just put out this new underwear, right? You guys are having spicy margs, perhaps, right? Okay, spicy margs. Oh, this is so great. It does not give me heartburn because it's delicious. Spicy margs give me heartburn. I don't like them. Anyways, then you're like, oh, look at him. He must have a big chon chon, right? So you go up to said gentleman, or actually he comes to you and you're like, oh, I think I dropped my pen. Can you get my pen? And he like, what? Oh, right? And you decide, I want your chon chon. And he goes, sure, I'll give you some chon chon. You guys go back to your house, right? And you guys fucks. It legs up from behind. I mean, you're orgasm after orgasm after orgasm after orgasm after orgasm. Also, I feel like if your mom is listening to this, I definitely lost her on this one. So the sex is over. He's come a bunch of times. You've orgasmed a bunch of times, and you go, right? You never think at any point like, man, your dad must fuck really good too, right? You know what I mean? Like that's not okay. So if listen, I'm getting to it. If said guy is a gentleman, you think to yourself, oh man, his father is probably a gentleman. His mother taught him well. His parents taught him well, right? Right? Yeah, right? If let's say he's like, oh, you find out he has a lot of money for whatever reason. You're like, oh wow, he's a hard worker. Again, his parents taught him how to work hard. That's another trait that your parents taught you. And then maybe when you meet the parents, you're like, oh man, you really like, you must be proud because you taught your son and or daughter such good things, right? Let's say after the foxing, he goes, oh man, I noticed that you need an armoire right over there. It would really tie the room together. I'm a woodworker. I can do that. You go, oh, and then he builds you one. And then you meet the parents, and the dad goes, yeah, I taught Timothy how to woodwork, right? And you're like, wow, that's a great trait. And then you see the dad's woodworking, and you're like, wow, like you have really good skill. You taught him well, right? But again, at no point after you're done fucking do you go, oh man, I bet your dad really fucks really good too. You know? Or a guy doesn't like, oh my god, that chick blew my mind. I kept coming. You don't meet her mom and go, wow, you must have really great sex as well. Like you must be really good at humping.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Why did this? Yeah. Why?
Again, most like when you meet somebody, you're like, these are traits that are passed down. These are things that you have taught your child or your children, right? But fucking isn't one of them. Fucking, you got to go out there and just figure it out, you know? But like, do you think there has to be someone out there that right after sex has been like either said it audibly or in their head, like, man, your parents must really know how to fuck.
You lost me, man.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You never thought about that? Well, I have. So, I don't know. I thought about that the other day. I was like, well, sex isn't a trait that's passed down.
That the other day.
Yeah.
Oh,
I have it in my show notes.
I do.
I was on the plane and I go, you know what trait?
Like you thought that after sex.
No. Okay. Let's make this clear. I did not think this idea after sex. I was on the plane and I go, you know what trait? Isn't it passed down or taught? Fucking. I said that. And then my crew member went, I think I'm going to go over here.
There's a bird on the plane.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought about it and I thought I'd share it with you guys. So there you go. You're welcome. I think I'm going to end with this one. When you guys are talking and you use, or at least you want to use, the word or, would you like to go to McDonald's or would you like to go to Burger King? Would you like burritos or burgers? Would you like a steak or mac and cheese? The or. Do you guys notice that a lot of people use the word Errr? Have you noticed that? I've noticed that a lot. I'll even tell you that before I started podcasting, I used to use it quite often. And I still use it from time to time, but I'm more mindful of it. And I try not to use when I mean or. Also, when I'm reading the safety demo at work, there's a couple spots where there is like 4 or 5 ors. In case of an emergency, blah, 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 or, blah, 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 or. But I've noticed that other people, when they're reading it, they'll say Get your life vest, And when I hear it, I'm like, is not a word. What do you, or? Do you mean or? O-R, or? And I was telling Allie the other day, because she was telling me something, and she goes, and I went, What's What? I don't understand what that is. And then I told her what I thought, and I was like, I've noticed. And then you were telling me something. I go, hold on. And I'm sitting there writing it. She goes, are you okay? I go, yeah, I just have to put this thought down. Okay, I'm done. She goes, did you get it for your podcast? I go, yeah, no, I got it. That's another thing. I don't know if I've told you guys. Anytime a thought pops into my head like that, I pull out my phone. Well, I try to pull out my phone and put it in my notes. Because I've told you guys before, there's times where I go, oh, I'll remember, and then I don't. And then I'm recording, and I think to myself, oh, shit, I forgot to. Or I'll tell myself, what was that again? And then I can't remember. But yeah, from now on, when you're talking, or when somebody else is talking, see if you can notice if they use or if they use but mean or. Because I think even Allie said, oh yeah, now that you say that, oh, that's so weird. I go, I don't know what it is. And I don't know if it's a lot of people or just the people that I've been around. Because I've noticed it a lot. And that's what I'm going to leave you with. So, guys, thank you for listening. Thank you for listening, for sharing, for telling other people about the podcast. Just keep liking, rating, subscribing, sharing the podcast. And let's keep getting these numbers up. All right. I will talk to you next week.